According to the American College of Sports Medicine, over 50% of sports injuries are preventable injuries if you have proper speed, agility, and strength training going ahead of time. What we need to look for, it's real important for all of our athletes to understand, is we work a lot on our power for the athletics, but we tend to forget about the opposing muscle groups and flexibility that keep us sustaining in that sport for a longer period of time. So we've got two things we want to show you today. We're doing primarily working with our baseball and softball players, but this works with our swimmers, wrestlers, several other sports out there. But we're paying attention to the rotator cuff strength movements that we want to get. We've had for years the regular tubing with the handles. You've seen these in sports stores. We can use this all the time. Make it a little more convenient and have our baseball and softball players a little more likely to use it. We're going to use one of the new developments from Skills, and I'll have the link on the site as well that you can take a look at this. It's just an exercise tubing, something we've used for years, but it has an attachment on the end of it. You can use it in a doorway, or better yet, out on the field for every one of the sports teams, baseball and softball. Just clip it onto a fence and use this. So everyone should have at least 5 of these. Basic things we work with, external rotations, the first one we want to work. Stepping out enough that we have tension from the start of the exercise, body's tall, hang on to it. We roll out as wide as we can and back in. Now, a couple things to keep in mind while we do this, and it's typically going to be at least 10, shooting for 15 to 20 reps. We need to keep a right angle at the elbow. Wrist stays just even or just above the elbow throughout that full range of motion. This short movement's not going to do a thing. Extend as wide as they can and back in. When that becomes easy, they step wider for even more resistance. But stay in tight. 2 ways you can do this exercise. In here tight, easier for control and for a coach to watch the athlete, to see where they're at. The other one, we turn our back to it, bring the elbow up, shoulder height, and you pull this back from here. Same motion, we're staying high. One of the big problems with this exercise, after a while the athletes get tired and they drop their elbow down. Not doing a thing. Elbow at this position, pull back as far as they can to really work the external rotation. Internal rotation's the next one. Hang on to it, just put your fingers right between it. Step out enough that we have tension, but for this machine right here, we want to make sure elbows tucked into the body, or just put a towel in between, so it's just a little space. We come back so we have a good stretch at the beginning of the exercise, come all the way in, forward, and then back again, allow the stretch. We have to make sure that we maintain that from start to finish. If they come in and just do this little movement here, again, nothing's happening. We need to feel the stretch in the back. So have them step up wherever they need to, where they feel that stretch. Now I'm feeling it. Now we pull all the way across the body and in. And the wrist should stay straight from the beginning exercise to the back. Now I know we pretty much are working on that dominant arm, but I still like all of our athletes to work both sides, left and right, whether left or right or not. If they extend, they slide, that's a good time they can tear that rotator cuff, so keep that in mind. Our external rotation, crucial, internal rotation, and you can do either direction that we need to, but form has got to be perfect every time. It's critical. Those in the valley here, you can get this online at skills.com, SKLZ.com, or over at Dick's Sporting Goods. I know carry them well, or the regular tubing works terrific. Stay tuned to our next video. We'll have even more on the shoulder development for our athletes. This must be done on a daily basis, along with the flexibility, which will be in one of our future videos as well. Good training. Remember to train hard, but more important, train smart.